Right, here we go. Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video, folks. Today we are doing the Pro Tour roundup and also Premier League week 26 in midweek. So I want a very busy day so far today, because today I was at LSEC College in Bromley, chatting playing with friends, doing maths and motor vehicles, of course, chatting out with friends, playing pool as well, a little bit of pool, and sometimes having a conversation about, what you did in the weekend. So before you get into the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. We got like 84, 85 subscribers now, so we're nearly into a 100 mark, 100 subscribers, so let's keep smashing. Right, let's kick off with the Pro Tour back in Hildesheim in Germany after the wonderful Wade denies Nathan Aspinall to clinch the PC1 title. James Wade kicked off his Players' Championship campaign with victory in Monday's Players' Championship 1 in Hildesheim after beating Nathan Aspinall 8-6. Wade produced a series of dominant displays to secure his first title of 2026 in the year's opening Players' Championship event. So the two-time World Grand Prix winner fought hard throughout the day, coming through 4 deciding legs matches before dispatching Aspinall to clinch his 12th Players' Championship title, following back-to-back deciding leg victories against Karel Sedlacek and Alexander Merckx, respectively, earlier in the day. But Wade raced past Jeffrey de Graaf, beating the Swede 6-1 before overcoming Austrian number 1 Menzies Suljovic 6-3. The 42-year-old then denied Joe Cullum in a last leg shootout to book his place in the semi-finals, where he overturned a 6-5 deficit against Michael van Gerwen, winning back-to-back legs, taking out finishes of 104, 127, 130, 137 to secure a place in the Pro Tour final for the first time since June 2025. Wade continued to fight back against the resilient Aspinall, averaging 2 points less than his opponent, while also firing in 5 180s to claim the 15,000 top prize. The world number 8 trailed earlier on, with Aspinall taking 5 of his first 8 legs to lead the machine 5-3, but it was Wade who would reply with a brilliant 4-leg rampage on his own. Wade would win the next 4 legs in just 41 darts before pinning an excellent 16 darter to cap off a clinical performance. Wade's victory denied Aspinall his first Players' Championship title since August 2022, although the Asp enjoyed a brilliant start to his 2026 campaign. Aspinall dumped out Arno Merck, Manas Razmar, Joe Hunt in quick succession earlier in the day before beating Beau Greaves in her first Players' Championship campaign as an official tour card holder. The Stockport-born star then punished a below-par performance from Gabriel Clemens in the quarterfinals before selling his spot in the final with victory over the former UK Open semi-finalist Adam Gavlas. Justin Hood produced the performance of the day in Hildesheim, averaging 108.47 in his round 2 thrashing of European champion Gian van Veen 6-1. Hood's brace of 10+ averages at Halle 39 weren't enough to get further than round 3. He lost 6-4 to Menzies Suljovic, despite averaging 9 points less than the Austrian number 1. Cam Crabtree and Wesley Plaisier averaged almost 108 in their first round 1 and round 2 victories against Luke Woodhouse and Rusty Jake Rodriguez, respectively. Cam Crabtree had a good run himself, lost to Beau Greaves 6-4, averaging in the high 90s, and Wesley Plaisier beating the likes of Cam Crabtree, Dave Chisnell before losing to Gabriel Clemens. While Mickey Mansell also stole the show in Hildesheim, pinning a perfect leg, a 9 darter in his 6-4 success against Cole Sneed in round 2, after knocking out Daryl Gurney in round 1 before losing to Stefan Belmont despite an average of 71. Then the 2026 PTC Pro Tour season continues with Players' Championship 2 on Tuesday, with coverage set to be broadcast live through PTC TV and bookmakers' websites worldwide. that's the Players Championship. That is the Pro Tour Players Championship 1 done. Let's move on to the Premier League. So first up tomorrow on Tuesday in midweek, Chelsea have started Liam Rowe Senior area well as the Blues now welcome an informed and impressive Leeds United side to Stamford Bridge on Tuesday nights. After scrambling to a 4-2 aggregate loss to Aston in the semi-finals of the EFL Cup, Chelsea managed to bounce back at the weekend with Cole Palmer notching a hat-trick and a 3-1 defeat of rock-bottom Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux. That makes it 7 wins from 9 since the appointment of Rose Senior last month. Daniel Farke was under pressure at the start of this season, but should now rightly be getting credit he deserves as the visitors continue to push towards survival. Leeds eased to an impressive 3-1 defeat of Nottingham Forest at Allen Road on Friday, ensuring it is just 2 defeats in their 13 matches across all competitions for the visitors. Leeds head into Stamford Bridge knowing they can cause issues for the Blues, having beaten them 3-1 in December. Both teams scoring would appear be a good bet for this one, but I'm going for Chelsea to win 3-1 this time. And then on to at the Hill Dixon Stadium, Everton have an excellent opportunity to continue to push towards European football. Could you imagine Everton qualifying for European football next season? Would be amazing. They will now take on Fulham. They now take on Bournemouth in Merseyside this week. Not Fulham. David Moyes and his Everton side continue to defy expectations and general sense by somehow coming from behind to defeat Fulham by 2-1 at Craven Cottage the other day. That leaves the Toffees truck inside the top 8, just 6 points outside the top 5 and probable Champions League qualifying spots. Now face an FC Bournemouth side that coach by Andoli Alalari have begun to find some form of late, with the Cherries of a 5-match unbeaten run of form in the Premier League. They most recently shared a 1-1 draw with Aston Villa the other day, with Ryan snatching an equaliser on debut in the 55th minute. Bournemouth head into Everton having rediscovered their fluency and form, but Everton always seem to find a way at the moment. So both teams scoring may well be a good bet for this one in Liverpool, but I'm going for Everton to win 1-0. And then Tottenham Hotspur are very much involved in the Premier League relegation battle as they welcome an out of form and under pressure Newcastle United to London. Tottenham Hotspur begins this weekend's round of fixtures just sitting 6 points outside the bottom 3 and relegation places. Spurs 2-0 defeat to Manchester United at Old Trafford at the weekend, which Spurs was down to 10 men and Christian Morero was sent off anyway, and that was a disgrace. And that they have now endured a 6-match winless run of form despite a win away at Crystal Palace over the festive period. Eddie Howe is beginning to feel a bit of pressure at St James's Park. Despite everything that has done for the Magpies, Newcastle's 3-2 loss at home to Brentford on Saturday was their 3rd defeat in a row in the league. It means they have just won in their last 19 matches. The last 9 matches inside 90 minutes across all competitions. But my words, that's not good enough. Spurs look to be in a bit of danger here. And despite the fact Newcastle are under pressure, the visitors will see this as a brilliant opportunity to finally turn things round. But I can see a draw here to say like 2-2. A 2-2 draw. Right. West Ham versus Manchester United. This is a really intriguing clash at the London Stadium as relegation threatened West Ham United take on an informed Manchester United in the capital city on Tuesday night. West Ham United have managed 3 victories in their last 4 matches in the Premier League as they close the gap from themselves to safety to just 3 points. They managed to defeat struggling Burnley by 2-0 at Turf Moor at the weekend. Courtesy of early goals scored by Coe Senior, Somerville and Tati Castellanos. Since the appointment of Michael Carrick, Manchester United have appeared to be reagating with the Red Devils, having now enjoyed a 4-match winning streak as they dropped themselves in the top four. But they defeated 10 men Tottenham Hotspur by 2-0 at Old Trafford at lunchtime on Saturday. United head down to the capital city in excellent form, but West Ham will also find themselves to continue their own newfound fluency. So both teams scoring could be a good bet for this one. But I hate to say it, I got a sneaky feeling that the Hammers may just get a draw here, and I can see them. I can see like a 1-1 draw. You know, it's just one of these games, wasn't it? Right, Wednesday, Aston Villa are fading in the title race, but they want to ensure a top four finish as they welcome Brighton over Albion to Villa Park in Birmingham on Wednesday. Unai Emery and his Aston Villa side were denied 3 points away at FC Bournemouth at the weekend in a 1-1 draw at the Vitality Stadium down on the south coast. The Villains have now managed just one win in their last 5 matches in the Premier League, closing the gap between themselves and those chasing the top 4 or 5 spot. They face a Brighton over Albion side that may well be coming to an end of an era is their pressure mounting on manager Fabian Hertzler. The Seagulls boss hasn't been well liked by Brighton supporters for a while, and it has only been made worse by a 1-0 loss at home to arch rivals Crystal Palace at the weekend. That defeat to Palace extended Brighton's winless run of form to 5 matches in the league, and Villa should ensure that is 6 in a row without a win for the visitors. So that's why I'm going for Villa to win 2-0. And then Crystal Palace got themselves a much-needed victory on the other day as the Seagulls now welcome relegation-bound Burnley to Selhurst Park on Wednesday night. Oliver Glasner appears too distant to depart Crystal Palace this summer, and things have gone off the rails down in Croydon over the last couple of months. However, the Seagulls did manage to reach past arch rivals Brighton over Albion by a 0-0 at the Amex Stadium down on the south coast at the weekend yesterday. They now face a Burnley side that begin the match day sitting 11 points adrift of safety. They're slightly improved over the turn of the year, has since then given away some woeful performances of late, with a 3-0 defeat to Sunderland last week, being backed up by 2-0 defeat at home to West Ham United on the other day. These are 2 of the lower scoring sides in the division, but with only Wolves have scored fewer than the pair, so a low scoring clash is to be expected, with Palace with the firm favourites with their home advantage. I'm going for Palace to win 2-0. And then Manchester City, Nottingham Forest against Wolves. Nottingham Forest are hovering just above the danger zone as they take on Championship-bound Wolverhampton Wanderers at the City Ground. Sean Dyche could really do with a victory here as Nottingham Forest hover just 3 points above the bottom 3 relegation places after a terrible result and performance on the other day as they scrambled to a 3-1 loss to fellow battlers Leeds United at Elland Road. Wolverhampton Wanderers sit rock bottom in the Premier League table after a mini improvement over the turn of the year, now 18 points behind 17th place Forest. Wolves were comfortably beaten 3-1 by Chelsea, featuring a Cole Palmer hat-trick at Molineux at the weekend. Forest haven't been convincing at all under Dyche, but this is a must-win for the former Burnley boss. Fortunate. This is the game that they should win. I'm going for Forest to win 2-1. And then Manchester City just about keeping themselves alive in the title race at the weekend, as they now welcome an entertaining, vulnerable Fulham side to the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City are 6 points behind Arsenal at the top of the table. They've managed to avoid going 9 points behind. The Citizens managed to dramatically come from behind late on to defeat Liverpool by 2-1 at Anfield. City seemingly have to keep on winning. They now face a Fulham side that have been dealt a blow in their push for European qualification with 3 defeats in their last 4 matches. After the Cottagers suffered a dramatic last gasp 3-2 loss to Manchester United, they then suffered a turnaround at home to Everton at the weekend. Those defeats showed just how well fun Fulham can be. Was that their case? The 5-1 defeat to City in early December. A home win is to be expected, but Fulham will fancy them chances creating quite a lot at the Etihad. But I'm going for Man City to win 3-0. Right. Where are we? 2 more to go. Sunderland versus Liverpool. Sunderland remain unbeaten at the Stadium of Light as they welcome defending champions Liverpool to the Weir side in the Premier League on Wednesday. With draws against Arsenal, Manchester City and Aston Villa, Sunderland have perhaps dealt with their toughest task at the Stadium of Light this season. Their 3-0 win over Burnley last week reignite hopes of European push in the spring, albeit they were pegged back by suffering a 3-0 loss to the Gunners at the Emirates Stadium the other day. They now face a Liverpool side that took the late lead against Manchester City at the Etihad on the other day, courtesy of Dominic Szoboszlai free kick, but then eventually suffered a dramatic 2-1 defeat to the Citizens, with Szoboszlai then sent off, and that was a disgrace in bizarre and controversial circumstances deep into the second half stoppage time. Liverpool will be aware of the force of Sunderland at home, but the Black Cats will fancy themselves to again get that bloody the nose of the Reds, but siding with the host would appear to be a good value once again. But as a Liverpool fan, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm worried about Sunderland because their home form has to be like a breath of fresh air. But I'm gonna say like Liverpool to win it just 2-1 certainly. But I'll take a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Right. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, finally, this is an intriguing London derby with Brentford having punched above their weight throughout the campaign as they now welcome league leaders Aston on Thursday. Brentford are a very dangerous opponent. After a turbulent summer, Brentford have surpassed pre-season expectations with Keith Andrews at the helm. The Bees coming into this one of a back of a thrilling 3-2 defeat of Newcastle United at St James's Park at the weekend, which leaves them truck inside the top 7 in European spots ahead of this round of fixtures. Manchester City came from behind at Liverpool to keep the pressure on Arsenal, but previously nervously looking Gunners are beginning to show real composure. If Liverpool would have won that game, then Arsenal would have been celebrating. Right, with the hammerings of Leeds United and Sunderland sandwiching for the 4-2 defeat of Chelsea in the semi-finals on the EFL Cup last week, Arsenal have a real chance of winning that quadruple this season. This is their toughest test left in the league, and Brentford may bloody their nose at the Getch Community Stadium, but the visitors remain favourites. I do think Brentford will score. They will make it awkward for Arsenal, but I'm going for Arsenal to run riot by 3-1. That's my predictions then for the Premier League Week 26. Leave them in the comments below. Support the channel. Leave your comments. Like and subscribe the channel. And I will see you in the next one for tomorrow for Players Championship 2 Roundup. See you guys. Good night. Have a great sleep. Bye.